the parents are driving home from the hospital after she gets her fingers reattached, and then there's like a monster in the road, and they like skid around it, and then they don't seem to remember that at all. They seem to have very selective memory around what's going on. Like they don't get home. You'd think if that happened, you'd be like, some crazy shit happened, kids, but instead they're just like mad at the kids for letting Jack outside. And it almost felt like, back to parenting, like at the same time that Benny and Lavinia were forgetting that they were supposed to kind of be parenting Jack in this moment, the parents get home and forget that they're kind of supposed to be parenting these kids.
At some level, they just kind of seem drunk the whole 2/3 of the film. Like they seem like they're like every moment is just like a moment and then it's gone, and they're easily distracted.
Very
and
dreamlike.
they, moods shift incredibly rapidly, which I think is a good way to think about, like, if this is like a thing about climate change, like one day there's like a huge story in the New York Times about like, here's all the ways that we're doomed. But then the next thing happens, and then the next thing happens, and the next thing happens, and suddenly, like, we've forgotten that we're doomed from that thing because there's like 8 or 9 other things that are kind of bothering us and we're getting really worked up about.
Yeah, it felt very much like the modern like media landscape, or like news landscape. And the way the parents acted not only reminded me of talking about politics with my parents, but reminded me specifically of talking about climate change with my parents. Like, Lavinia going, "Do you believe me now?" And Nathan going, "I don't know what I believe anymore." And it's like Lavinia's been trying to explain to him that shit's weird for so long, and he can't just go, "Okay, sorry, you're right, shit's weird." Like, he can't do that. I don't know. Like, I've been getting in fights with my dad about climate change for like 15 years, and then he'll finally be like, "I think the climate's changing." I'm like, "Do you remember us talking about that like 800 times?" And he'll be like, "I just think it might be changing." And like, it's gone. It's all gone. Or like during George Floyd, called me and was like, "I'm sorry." And this, to his credit, he's like, "You were right. The police, the entire thing is corrupt." And then like a month later was like, "I mean, not all of them." And like, it's just gone.
I
It
thought
doesn't
you were
matter.
going to say during George Floyd, he called you and he was like, "You're right. Climate change is real."
That's it. Yeah.